This is Summer School Video Unit 1F, Algebraic Expressions, Evaluating Expressions. An algebraic expression is a collection of numbers, so like 1, 2, 3, variables, usually we see the letter x, and operations, so times, add, subtract, divide, any of those. To evaluate an expression, you must substitute a number for the variables, perform the operations, and simplify. We've been doing this in all of Unit 1 already. This is just kind of putting it all together here at the end. So we're going to evaluate the following expressions when a equals 2, b equals -3, and c equals 5. Remember, order of operations, do not use a calculator. Now, remember, what we mean by do not use a calculator is you can't just type the whole expression in and evaluate it. If you need the calculator for a little piece of it, that's fine, but you need to be showing me your work. You need to show me that you can use order of operations. If you don't show me that, you're not getting credit for this. All right? A plus b times c. So a is 2, we put the 2 in there, plus b, -3, times c. Now, you see how I'm substituting these numbers in parentheses? I'm going to put the 2 in parentheses as well. Put them in parentheses. They must go in parentheses. Okay? The amount of work that I'm showing you in the notes is the amount of work I'm expecting on your practice and the amount of work I'm expecting you to show on the test, just for reference. All right? Now, order of operations tells me to do this multiplication here before I do my addition. -3 times 5 is a -15. Negative times a positive is a -15. Then we can drop down this 2 plus -15. 2 plus -15. The negative number is bigger, so my answer is going to be negative. Subtract the numbers. 15 minus 2 is 13. We get -13. Again, you may check your work in the calculator. However, I do need to see all of this written out. Number 2, 3b times 5a. So we have 3b, which is -3. Remember, you put it in parentheses, plus 5 times a. A is 2, so we put the 2 in parentheses. Multiplication comes before addition, so we're going to do 3 times -3, which is a -9, plus 5 times 2, which is 10. -9 plus 10. We could actually rewrite that as 10 minus 9. Put that negative number at the end. 10 minus 9 we know is 1. Example number 3. 3 times the square root of 2a plus c. So first off, we substitute in those numbers. 3 times the square root of 2 times a, which is 2, plus c, which is 5. Do the multiplication underneath the radical first, underneath that square root. 2 times 2 is 4, so we're doing 3 times the square root of 4 plus 5. The square root of 4, we have to do that first. If you're not confident in your square roots, that's what your calculator is there for. You are more than welcome to type in square root of 4 in your calculator and find out that it's 2. Again, those are the pieces you're allowed to use your calculator for. Then we put 3 times 2 plus 5. 3 times 2 is 6. We do 6 plus 5. 6 plus 5 is 11. You see all this work that I'm showing on my paper. I'm expecting this on your paper. I'm expecting it in your practice problems, and I'm expecting it on your test. Next set of examples. Number 4. Evaluate the following expression when x equals 4. Remember your order of operations. Okay? Substitute in 4 for x. We put 2 times 4 plus 9. We do the times first. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 9 is 17. So our final answer, 17. All right, next example, we have 2 times 3 to the power of 4. Now, we need to do 3 to the power of 4 first, because we do exponents first. Now, if you're not sure what 3 to the power of 4 is, by all means, let's use our calculator because that is what it's here for. 3 to the power of 4. Press enter, we get 81. Awesome. Now we're going to write down on our paper 2 times 81. You're showing me that you can use this order of operations and that you know the steps. 2 times 81, if you need to, you can definitely use your calculator, but it is 162. All right, you're showing me in your steps that you know how to use the order of operations and that you're getting it correct. Next step, we have number 6, 2 times the absolute value of 1 minus 4. Close the absolute value. Now, we do what's inside the absolute value first. So we're going to do 1 minus 4, but keep it in those absolute value bars. So I'm just going to draw those absolute value bars. And then 1 minus 4, negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3. Anything inside absolute value bars becomes positive. So this negative 3 in here is going to become positive 3, but it's being multiplied by the 2. So we're going to do 2 times 3, which equals 6. So again, I'm going to tell you, I need to see this work. I need to see it in your practice problems, I need to see it in your notes, and I need to see it on your test. 7, x plus 2 divided by 3 minus 2. First off, we put the 4 in for the x. We do 4 plus 2 all over 3. And then on the side, we put minus 2. Do the operations in the numerator and denominator first. So we have 4 plus 2, which is 6, all over 3 minus 2. Now, remember, this fraction bar means we're dividing. Division comes before subtraction. So we're going to do 6 divided by 3, which is 2. And then 2 minus 2, which is 0. Nothing. All we have is nothing left. So I'm going to put a box around that and know that that's our final answer. All right, we are so close to done with Unit 1. One last slide, and that's it for Unit 1. Use negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a to evaluate the following. That should sound familiar for those of you who were in 9th grade algebra last year. That is part of your quadratic formula. So we have a equals 1, b equals 6, and c equals 5. We're going to type those in here. Negative b, so negative 6 plus the square root of b squared, 6 squared. Now please put all numbers in parentheses as you substitute them in here. Minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 5, and then all over, I apologize for my crooked squiggly line, 2 times a, which is 1. Now, if you recognize this type of problem from our last set of notes, this was the one I told you you could use your calculator on for the whole thing. And again, you are allowed to use your calculator on the whole thing for this type of problem only. If you are confused as which type of problem, please ask questions and I will let you know. But on this one, we are allowed to use our calculator for the whole thing. So we put the fraction bar in there. We put the negative 6. Then we do plus. Then we get the square root. Remember, you press the blue button and then the x squared button. Parentheses. 6. Close the parentheses. Square that. Do not forget the square. Minus 4 times 1 times 5. That's it for the top. Go down to the bottom. 2 parentheses 1. Press enter. And our answer here is a negative 1. So we can put equals negative 1 and circle it. Now to make sure you know what you're doing, number 9, try on your own. I want to see the whole thing written out. You need to have this piece written out on your paper. Then you can type everything out to the calculator and see what you get. So pause the video and try it yourself. All right, for number 9, you should have gotten that your answer is -1. I should see this work on your paper, so make sure you set it up correctly, and then make sure you got your answer correct of -1. If you did something wrong in the setup, then your answer would be wrong, and then we can find our mistake that way. But if your setup is correct and your answer did not come out correctly, you typed it into the calculator wrong. So make sure you know how to type it in the calculator. If you do not know how to do that, do not sit quietly and act like you know how. This is your time to ask questions. I want to make sure you get this. So please, if you are struggling with this piece of typing it into the calculator or any of it, ask questions, let me know. This is all of the video notes I have for you today. Please stop the video and work on your Chapter 1 or Unit 1 review.